Gather round, friends, and get cozy. It's time for another captivating episode of the FAFO Files. Whether you're curled up on the couch, settled in your favorite chair, or wrapped in a warm blanket, get ready for a story packed with despair, mayhem, and unforgettable twists. So let's dive in. Welcome to the FAFO Files.
A long road ahead. The Martinez family's life at the church shelter had begun with a sliver of hope. But as the weeks turned into months, the weight of their circumstances grew heavier, and the cracks in their fragile new reality widened. Angela could see the changes in her children first. Liam, once a bright and optimistic teenager, was sullen and distant. Emma, her youngest, had stopped drawing the whimsical pictures she used to love creating, and her once bright eyes now carried a quiet sadness. Angela felt as though she were failing them, unable to protect them from the harshness of their new life. Every night, she lay awake, staring at the cracked ceiling of their small room, wondering how they would survive another day. The shelter had always been a bustling place, but the atmosphere shifted when immigration raids became frequent. It started with whispers and rumors that the agents were cracking down on places like this. Then, one morning, it became real for her family. Angela woke to the sound of shouting and heavy footsteps as agents poured into the shelter. She rushed to gather Liam and Emma, pulling them into the corner of their room as the chaos unfolded. The agents searched room by room, demanding papers, interrogating residents, and dragging away anyone they deemed suspicious. "Mom, I'm scared," Emma whispered, her voice trembling. "Stay close to me," Angela said, wrapping an arm around her daughter. The agents eventually reached their room. One of them, a stern-faced man with a badge that gleamed under the fluorescent light, barked, "Papers, now!" Angela fumbled through her bag, hands shaking. "We're citizens," she stammered. "I just need a moment to find." Before she could finish, one of the agents grabbed Liam by the arm. "We'll sort it out downtown," he said gruffly, starting to pull the boy away. "Wait! No!" Angela screamed, throwing herself between them. She tore through her belongings, finally finding Liam's birth certificate and thrusting it into the agent's hands. "See? He was born here! He's American!" The agent studied the document for a long moment before finally letting go of Liam. Angela pulled her son into her arms, her heart pounding as relief mixed with rage. "You need to have these ready," the agent said coldly, before moving on. The raids only became more frequent, each one leaving the residents more on edge. Food, already scarce, became even more tightly rationed as donations dwindled. The shelter's once warm community began to fracture under the strain. Arguments broke out over meals, and Angela had to step between two women who nearly came to blows over a loaf of bread. Even Liam got into a scuffle with another boy over an apple, something Angela never thought she'd see from her once gentle son. Reverend Samuels, the shelter's steadfast leader, tried to keep the peace, but even he looked weary. One evening, he gathered the residents in the common room to deliver grim news. "We've done everything we can," he said, his voice heavy. "But the resources are running out, and the raids are scaring off our donors. If things don't change soon, we may have to close the shelter." A wave of despair rippled through the room. Angela felt her stomach drop. Where would they go if the shelter shut down? Living in the car again wasn't an option, not with winter fast approaching. That night, Angela and her children huddled together, discussing their options. "What do we do, Mom?" Liam asked. "We can't live like this anymore." "I don't know," Angela admitted, tears welling in her eyes. "But we'll figure it out. We have to." The next morning, Reverend Samuels approached Angela with a proposition. "I know things are hard here," he began, "but I have a friend who runs a farm in the countryside. He's always looking for workers and can provide a small cabin for you and the kids. It's not much, but it's steady work and a safe place to stay." Angela hesitated. Farming was grueling work, and she had no experience. But the thought of a safe place for her children was too good to pass up. "We'll do it," she said, her voice firm. "Thank you." A week later, the family packed their few belongings and boarded a van headed for the farm. The rolling hills and open skies were a stark contrast to the crowded shelter and noisy streets they had left behind. The cabin was small and rustic, but it was clean and private. For the first time in months, Angela felt a sliver of peace. As they settled into their new routine, the family couldn't help but reminisce about their old life. Liam remembered the soccer games he used to play with his friends, and Emma talked about the colorful bedroom she used to love. Angela thought about the job she had worked so hard to maintain, the apartment she had struggled to keep, and the belief that hard work would always lead to success. Their new life was hard, but it was a chance to start over. Angela didn't know what the future held, but she vowed to face it with the lessons she had learned. She had seen the worst of what life could offer, but she had also seen the best in people like Reverend Samuels. And though she mourned the life they had lost, she held on to hope that one day they would build something better.
Thanks for tuning in to the FAFO Files. We hope you enjoyed this story of another naive person messing around and finding out. Don't forget to subscribe and share if you're loving the stories. We've got plenty more where this came from. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and remember, sometimes people just gotta FAFO. See you in the next episode.